We had one session regarding the Manipur violence and it was dealt in quite depth. So, since May 2023, this violence has claimed 250 lives, 60,000 people have been displaced, as well as there is continuous disturbance regarding the lives of ordinary citizens. So, we have our esteemed panel members today who will be discussing in detail about the various dimensions of this issue and also what this particular issue, how this particular issue is important from civil services point of view. So, my first question is with R.C. Sinha sir. Sir, can you briefly explain how this violence has erupted again?
Yeah, I would like to clarify. First thing that first violence erupted in 2023, as you already pointed out. That was everybody knows because of Manipur High Court order. The misconception was people started taking as judgment. That was not judgment. That's why Manipur High Court has directed the state government to make provision to include Meitei community into tribal community, which they claimed that they had that status before independence and they wanted to have the same status. But that led to large scale violence all along Manipur on the ground, that if Meitei has been given tribal status, in that case they are already having 40 representation out of 60 in Manipur assembly. Thereafter they are having all sorts of resources with them, in spite of the fact they are confined to 10% area of Manipur, that's a valley area, but even then they will have upper hand in all respects. And they will start buying land in hilly areas of Manipur also and Kuki and Naga residing. So, based on that, huge violence erupted that continued. Unfortunately, as you already pointed out, we have lost lives, Indians, innocent people, and when innocent people are killed, naturally that multiplies the violence level. Because those who lost their near and dear one, naturally they would not be coming to mainstream, they would be joining the militancy itself in this way or that way. Present violence erupted, that is a kind of action reaction. Professionally, I won't be able to say Kuki killed Meitei or Meitei killed Kuki because it's all suspects. It's being inquired thoroughly that who responsible for. But recent violence has basic cause in terms of action and reaction. Some represent people from Meitei community killed by suspected Kuki's militant. Some suspected Kuki killed by some Meitei militants. Those who are killing are of course militants, but it has to be investigated to who killed whom, who had been involved there. But one thing is very painful, I would like to say, that when security forces have carried out encounters, that encounter is also under scanner, because without identifying the person very thoroughly, carrying out encounters and shooting them then and down, that is not professional in my point of view. So, this has all multiplied the violence in Manipur very recently.
जी सर, ऐसा बोलते हैं ना, ताली दोनों हाथ से बजती है.
जी, ताली दोनों हाथ से बजती है.
The point is that both sides have their arguments regarding why they are
जी,
doing this
और प्लस कुकी में थोड़ा ज़्यादा इनसिक्योरिटी है सर, तो उनको ऐसा लगता है कि सारा सिस्टम माइती के फेवर में चल रहा है. चल रहा है नहीं चल रहा है, that it's a difficult to conclude, but yes, Kuki has that kind of insecurity. And one more thing I would like to add here, Kuki Naga conflict had been so long, but right now very interesting to understand that Naga is keeping quiet. I would add here, with due respect to all tribal community, that enemy of enemy is friend. So now Naga is sitting quiet and just watching the violence, Kuki and Meitei, and watching the result and observation, all sorts of observation. That's why they are quiet.
Right, sir. So, as you highlighted the timeline that the sequence of event happened, sir, there was encounters and there was certain killing by Kuki's, suspected Kuki's militant, and then the whole situation has become so gruesome for everyone.
Yeah. I would like to add, sir, here, because in encounter even body of children found.
Right. 2.5 months child.
That
was really
highly unacceptable.
Right,
security forces are that much professional that they won't carry out encounter this way. That's very painful.
Truly, sir. It was very painful. Sir, if we see that how this violence is different from the earlier violence, if we differentiate That what happened in May 2023 and right now what is happening?
Yeah, in one line I would like to answer that. Basic difference is that violence erupted on very strong reason that why Manipur High Court has directed the state government to include this Meitei community in tribal community. Let the state government decide who is tribal, who is non-tribal. But this violence is just, you can say, extension of that order in terms of action and reaction. Because once violence erupts, A kills B, so B kills A, that who has initiated and who killed more, this is going on.
Right, as Mahatma Gandhi has said, an eye for an eye will
Yeah,
make
an
the
eye
whole
for
world,
an eye.
the whole world blind.
The whole world become blind. That Mahatma Gandhi has said that very true in this case.
Sir Nitish sir, coming to you. Sir, government has also reimposed AFSPA. So what is this particular provision and why it has been reimposed?
First, I'll briefly tell the audience about the AFSPA. So it is Armed Forces Special Powers Act, and it was first imposed in northeastern region. Then it was Assam in 1958. It provides some special powers to the armed forces, particularly the forces that are belonging to the Union Armed Army and the Central Armed Police Forces. And in that they have the special power where they can arrest or detain, where they can search or seize, where they can enter into any domiciliary premises where people are living without any warrant. And they are provided with legal immunity, so that there cannot be any cross case by the residents or the citizens against the armed forces, so that they are not stuck in the legal hurdles while performing their duties. So for very long time, Imphal Valley did not have imposition of AFSPA, but very recently our Honorable Home Minister has reimposed AFSPA in 5 districts of Manipur, particularly in the areas close to the Imphal region, in the Jiribam district, where the unfortunate bodies were found. So this is a way through which the armed forces will be provided special powers to bring the situation under control, because it is more than 1.5 years for this violence that is continuing. So we hope that with this step, army will finally end this violence happening in the region.
Right, sir. It is said that extraordinary situations demand extraordinary powers to control this thing. So, sir, also there is a talk about imposing president rule in the state. So, what is, sir, this president rule is all about? What are the constitutional provisions regarding it?
In the Article 355, it is specifically mentioned that it is the duty of the union government to ensure that the functioning or the machinery of the state is as per the provisions of the constitution. So whenever there is a failure of constitution machinery, then under Article 355, the president can impose president's rule under Article 356, where in the simplest term, the state government will be suspended and the union government will have the power over the executive. Parliament will have the powers of the state legislature. The president and the council of ministers will have the power of the executive of the state. So that law and order, majorly law and order is a state subject, so it will directly come under the union government. And here there is a discussion of the president rule, but from the security point of view, I am telling that what the government can do during the president's rule, the government is already doing that, because army will be brought by the union, AFSPA is imposed, Central Armed Police Forces will be brought by the union government, it is already imposed. So from the security point of view, it is not demanded, and from the political point of view, it is the demand, because Meitei community and Kuki community, they are in conflict, and their demand, because they believe that, as sir has also specifically provided, that it is something which is a perception that they are not giving the due justice because of the government.
Okay.
Say it like this basically, once the 356 will be imposed, so definitely those communities who are thinking that the government is well connected with a particular community and there is a lot of favor provided to that community, will boost confidence to the other groups that the state machinery is not to be misused in favor of the other one. And the political dialogues which is going on, I would say that in form of rhetoric, that will be also on halt to certain extent. So the political dimension which is further aggravating the situation over there, it can be regulated and controlled to certain extent, maybe once 356 can be imposed. But still I doubt that if you take the ruling of SR Mumbai case, there is a condition of 356 or not. although physical breakdown is there, but at the same time union government is consistently extending help to clear the breakdown over there. So, what I think that if you connect it with the SR Bombay case, this is not the right time basically to impose 356. But definitely there should be some initiative from the government to generate a confidence among the all groups that they are looking into the interest of everyone, and everyone interest will be served basically.
So basically, so 356 is not a solution for this case.
Technically, it is not going to make a big difference basically. As sir said, ki paramilitary forces are already over there. There could be only a kind of trust generation, confidence building among rest of the communities, because the political distribution is like that. The 40 seats come to the valley areas where Mathi communities are dominating. So, I am not saying it is true, I am simply saying that this is a kind of perception that government is regulated and controlled by one of the communities. So, once 356 is there, government will be forced to resign, or government will resign, the union government will take care of the charges. So, the confidence among the people will be raised in that sense, but again it is not a final solution.
Right.
I would like to add in this, sir. Actually, whenever there is an insecurity, every step is seen with a suspicion, and Manipur is that case. That they have insecurity with respect to the functioning of the government, and everything that the government is doing is suspicious for the other groups that have lesser number in the government of Manipur.
Ultimate thing is one, until and unless there is a confidence among all the groups that their interest will be served, the peace process, initiate peace process are relatively difficult basically. So, this 356 again I am saying it is not
sir,
a
bringing R.C. Sinha sir into discussion. Sir, you have served in Northeast region. Yeah. So, sir, how Article 356 and for 355 as well, how they are being operationalized on the ground?
First of all, most thing I would like to supplement honorable members. Very rightly they said that Article 356 will make no difference because point 1, Article 356 is just political control over the state, union control over the state. There is no provision in Article 356 regarding suspension of fundamental rights. That is the provision in Article 352 national emergency that can't be imposed. Second point is that when there is no provision for suspending fundamental right, in that case 356 has no meaning. In normal course itself, curfew is imposed, section 144 imposed, shoot at sight orders would be issued, and forces would be very much effective in putting people behind their in their home. One. Second thing, as you pointed out, that Article 355, as honorable member also pointed out, Armed Forces Special Power Act. Let me clarify 2-3 things. People should understand it. As ground experience, I would like to share. Point 1, जब फोर्स काम करती होती है ग्राउंड पर, वो स्पेशल आर्म फोर्स स्पेशल पावर एक्ट के साथ काम करे या सेंट्रल फोर्सेज कोऑर्डिनेशन में काम करे. सेंट्रल फोर्सेज डोंट हैव दैट काइंड ऑफ रूट इन लोकल पॉपुलेशन. दे आर स्लाइटली आइसोलेटेड. ऑन द कॉन्ट्ररी, स्टेट पुलिस हैज वेरी मच लोकल कॉन्टैक्ट. जनरली व्हाट हैपन, स्टेट पुलिस इज नॉट दैट मच कोऑर्डिनेटिंग विद सेंट्रल फोर्सेज. और होता है उससे ये है कि सेंट्रल फोर्स के पास इंटेलिजेंस इनपुट जो होता है वो सब पेड इनपुट होता है. हम लोग जब मूव करते होते हैं तो हम जो पे करते हैं इन्फॉर्मर को, उसके बदले में हमारे पास इन्फॉर्मेशन होते हैं. नंबर ऑफ टाइम्स क्या होता है, स्टेट पुलिस के पास जेन्युइन इन्फॉर्मेशन होता है क्योंकि कंटिन्यूस इंटरेक्ट करते रहते हैं, लेकिन उनके हमेशा डर रहते हैं उनके अंदर में, क्योंकि वो लोकल के साथ उठते बैठते हैं कि अगर हमने उनका ट्रैप लगाया, उनको उठा लिया, तो वो सेटल करते हैं स्कोर स्टेट पुलिस से. तो वो अपनी सिक्योरिटी में वो हमारी सिक्योरिटी को फेल कर देते हैं विदाउट अनइंटेंशनली. Point 1. Point 2, majority of militants in North East, they are wearing combat dress. तो जब सेंट्रल फोर्सेज ऑपरेट करती है, ऑफ कोर्स ऑल इंडिया सर्विसेज में मैं था, मेरा डिप्यूटेशन था सेंट्रल फोर्सेज में, तो आई कुड सी बेटर कोऑर्डिनेशन अमंग एसएसबी, सशस्त्र सीमा बल. लेकिन एक बात मैं कहूँगा, आसाम राइफल्स इज वेरी मच फैमिलियर, जैसे बेसिक पैरामिलिट्री, उसमें आईपीएस ऑफिसर्स के डिप्यूटेशन नहीं होते हैं, और उनके कोऑर्डिनेशन में मैंने देखा है खास बात कि बहुत इफेक्टिव है वो फोर्स, चूँकि वो नॉर्थ ईस्ट के लिए ही है, जस्ट लाइक राष्ट्रीय राइफल्स फॉर JNK. लेकिन उनकी समस्या ये होती है कि जब आप इनकाउंटर साइट पर पहुंचते हैं तो हाउ वुड यू आइडेंटिफाई मिलिटेंट्स, क्योंकि मिलिटेंट्स क्या करते हैं, खुद तो कॉम्बैट ड्रेस पहनते ही हैं, वो लोकल्स को भी कॉम्बैट ड्रेस बांट देते हैं, और लोकल्स में पॉवर्टी है, कपड़े नहीं है, फूड नहीं है, वो फूड देते हैं, ऊपर से कॉम्बैट ड्रेस दे देते हैं। और कॉम्बैट ड्रेस पहन करके लोकल जिसको कि लाठी चलाना नहीं आता है, दे ऑल्सो फील वेरी प्राउड ऑफ दे हैव बिकम सेंट्रल फोर्स और आर्मी। नतीजा क्या होता है, सेंट्रल फोर्स करती है, वो एम्बुश कर देते हैं, मिलिटेंट एम्बुश करती है सेंट्रल फोर्स को, सेंट्रल फोर्स, और वो निकल जाते हैं क्योंकि वो सीजनड होते हैं। इन रिटेलिएशन सेंट्रल फोर्स वहाँ पर जो कॉम्बैट ड्रेस में मिलता है उसको इनकाउंटर कर देती है। अब इनोसेंट का जब इनकाउंटर कर देंगे आप, तो उसका जो नियर एंड डियर है, दे वोंट बी कमिंग इनटू मेन स्ट्रीम ऑफ नेशन, दे विल आल्सो ज्वाइन मिलिटेंसी। दैट वे मिलिटेंट डेलिबरेटली डू दिस टू इंक्रीज देयर कैडर्स। ये ग्राउंड सिचुएशन है जिसमें आर्म फोर्स स्पेशल पावर एक्ट फेल कर जाता है। आर्टिकल 355 कहता है कि यूनियन गवर्नमेंट हैज पावर टू डिप्लॉय सेंट्रल फोर्स इन द स्टेट टू प्रोटेक्ट द स्टेट फ्रॉम एक्सटर्नल एग्रेशन, इंटरनल डिस्टर्बेंसेस। दोनों फेल हो जाता है। एक्सटर्नल एग्रेशन को भी पॉइंट आउट करना चाहूँगा। इमिग्रेशन, बार बार वहाँ के लोग पूछते हैं इमिग्रेशन फोर्स क्यों नहीं रोक पाती है। पहली बात है कि इतना डिफिकल्ट टेरेंस है, दे बेटर नो कि इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू मॉनिटर राउंड द क्लॉक इंटायर बॉर्डर। प्लस उस तरफ खेत में कोई काम कर रहा है बॉर्डर के उस पार, वो बस एक मौका देखा इस पार आ गया। उनका एथनिक सिमिलैरिटी, कल्चरल सिमिलैरिटी, रेशियल सिमिलैरिटी इतना ज़्यादा है, और प्लस उनका लोकल से कॉन्फिडेंस होता है, रिलेशंस होते हैं, उनके शादी ब्याह आपस में होते हैं, मैरिज होते हैं। तो क्या होता है, जब एक पार इस पार आ गया तो हाउ विल यू आइडेंटिफाई हु इज़ फ्रॉम दिस साइड और दैट साइड। इमिग्रेंट लिखा हुआ थोड़ी होता है, और फिर लोकल कोई बताता नहीं है, और लोकल को कॉन्फिडेंस लेना बड़ा मुश्किल है कि लोकल को या तो पैसा दीजिए, और हम पैसा देते हैं उनको इन्फॉर्मेशन देने के, वो इस पार से दिखाई दे, नया चेहरा दिखाई दे, बताओ। उस पार वाला उसको ड्रग दे देता है, तो हमसे पैसा भी ले लिया, उससे ड्रग भी ले लिया और चुप लगा दिया। हमारे ऑपरेशन भी फेल कर गए, उनके ऑपरेशन भी फेल कर गए। और लोग ये समझते हैं कि हम फोर्सेस जो हैं इनएफिशिएंट हैं, लेकिन अगर हम एफिशिएंट हो जाए तो इनोसेंट को मार देंगे हम, क्योंकि मिलिटेंट इस तरह से हमसे ऑपरेट कर रहे हैं।
इससे सर रिलेटेड एक क्वेश्चन भी है मिस्टर बीकू नौरेन, आई होप आई एम प्रोनाउंसिंग राइट, सॉरी अगर इफ आई हैव मिसप्रोनाउंस्ड इट। सर ब्रिंगिंग यू इनटू डिस्कशन, सर जो डेमोग्राफिक शिफ्ट हो रहा है बिकॉज ऑफ इमिग्रेशन, माइग्रेशन की वजह से, सो हाउ दिस हैज़ कॉम्प्लिकेटेड द होल सिचुएशन?
Sir, before understanding impact of migration, we need to understand geographical distribution of different ethnic groups. In not only Manipur, but in entire Northeast, the cultural identities are territory linked, means each territory is occupied by a particular cultural identity. As in case of Manipur, the hill areas, they are inhabited by Nagas and Kuki people, and the plain areas, they have been the traditional home of Meitei people. I am pronouncing hopefully right. And this situation, this culturally kind of you can say territory linked cultural identities, they always increase the risk of competition for resources, land resources, job opportunities, development work, and etc. So what happened in recent years, there has been a lot of migration from especially Chin region of Myanmar, and the migrants, they are ethnically, culturally linked to the Kukis who reside in hill areas of Manipur. So as Meiteis they allege, this has led to significant demographic shift in the region. Means, as we all know, democracy is game of numbers. So this increase in number of particular community in a particular region, that always creates threat to identity of the other group. This is what they are claiming, and that has kind of created one more problem. The Meiteis, which constitute more than 50% population of Manipur, and they are residing in valley area, which accounts for just around 10% of territory of the region. In recent decades, because of migration, the movement of Kukis from hill areas to plain areas has also happened. Means, as Meiteis are claiming, they are losing their traditional homeland. Their homeland is shrinking because of transfer of land. As we all know, as per the law, as per the policy, the tribals can purchase the land in plain areas, but the people of plain area, they cannot purchase land in tribal areas, the forested areas. So this has further created resource scarcity and relative deprivation situation in the valley area.
Okay, right, sir. Sir, before going further, I want to ask you, sir, if we see the issue as a whole, how it is related to national security, this whole particular issue?
Okay. So, in general, there is a first impression that something going on in Indian state. But it is not just a simple violence or some kind of unrest is in Indian state is there. It is a big challenge to the national security. And why it is a challenge to the national security? As sir explained, there is a lot of illegal migrants. And let me tell you, if there is a lot of illegal migration is there, so lot of migrants work as a logistical support basically to the outside borders. And they are the key players in providing information of trade routes over there and the hideouts over there, which further pushes basically the smuggling in the region, specifically drug trafficking. That a region is also known for that drug trafficking. And recently, this you can say weapon smuggling has been also found. Even sophisticated weapon like M16 and multiple weapons has been found. So this entire issue will expose multiple problems connecting to the outside of border, and illegal migration, one of the key issues. Even I personally believe that if we really looking forward to solve that issue, this illegal migration has to be controlled, and because of this only the cross-border linkages can be regulated, and you can say this trafficking in the region can be controlled to certain extent. Although it has a impact in this sense also, we will discuss it later on how it is impacting India's golden dream of being connecting to the Southeast Asia properly. But it is a major challenge to the national security issues, because it will have a chances of a spillover effect. If such type of conflict gets settled in favor of the unrest, in the favor of the illegal migrants in any way, that will further promote the idea that more migrants come and settle down in the region. Then the separate demand of separate state or autonomy, there could be multiple demands, and ultimately it is threat to the national security.
Right, sir. Sir, as you said that it is related to Indian foreign policy as well, and there has been murmurs in the corridors of social media that somehow what they term as deep state and disturbances in other part of neighboring part of India is related to violence in particularly border states. So, sir, how do you see this conflict in context of Indian foreign policy?
So, if I will specify this this Manipur, so it shares 390 kilometers long border with Myanmar and Myanmar states, and I would say that Myanmar is a member state of ASEAN too. So, Manipur is a very important entry point if we are looking forward for the successful of our Act East policy. Now, it is not just this dimension only, because India is trying to get a foothold in Southeast Asia, and the country which is challenging us over there are actually not interested that India should have a strong foothold is China. And China has a historical relationship with Myanmar. China has a close association with the military junta of Myanmar. So, obviously, they will always try that the Indian infrastructural programs or Indian cultural composite dialogues with the neighboring states should come on the halt basically. So, this angle is also there. You can see a Chinese factor you can see over there, and there are a lot of news that the Chinese are providing training and arms to the two specific army that is moving from Myanmar. That is, Awa army is there and Arkan army is there, and they have a major they have created a major problem and trouble on the Indian side of the border. So, I believe that Manipur is a very important state for India, specifically for the great success of our Look East policy, our Act East policy, and to certain extent counter the Chinese attempt basically to move into Myanmar. Just the third dimension, Chinese movement in Myanmar is directly making access to the Bay of Bengal region specifically, because Myanmar, and if through Myanmar one can easily enter into the Bay of Bengal region. So, imagine this on the Sitwe port, if the Chinese ships are over there, that is going to be very dangerous. So, it is very important for us we should have a strong affiliation and control also on in relation with the Myanmar, but in a positive direction.
Right, and with the renewed focus on Act East policy which present government is pursuing, it becomes very important. Now, sir, Piyush sir has said that illegal drug trade. So, as we know that there is illegal poppy cultivation over there, then illegal trade is happening. So, how this is connected to this particular conflict?
Sir, there is a region in Southeast Asia which is called as Golden Triangle. That this is a geographical territory which is spread across Myanmar, Laos and Thailand. And that area is known across the world for poppy cultivation. And it is spread up to Chin region of Myanmar. And as I was saying, there has been a lot of migration, illegal migration from Chin region of Myanmar to Manipur. So when cultural groups migrates from one region to another region, they carry their practices also. And this has led to a kind of boom of poppy cultivation in the hilly areas of Manipur also. This, as sir was saying, this poppy cultivation, or you can say the organized crime in the form of poppy cultivation and illegal trade, it has provided financial support to the conflict. One more thing I would like to add, as sir was saying, Manipur is very crucial for our Act East policy. It is called as gateway to the East. Because if we focus on geography of northeastern region, there are mountainous ridges which have north-south orientation. And these ridges are a major barrier for mobility in that region. So there are very few entry points which have been created by rivers which provide passage between this side of the mountains and that side. That side means Southeast Asia side. So that's why most of the movement of legal or illegal trade that happens through Manipur region. So any kind of chaos or any kind of trouble in that region, that is definitely going to hamper our Act East policy, one thing. And second thing, if we don't control this illegal trade and illegal poppy cultivation, which government has been heavily taken care of in last few years, then in that situation, the situation may go beyond control.
Okay, sir. Sir, coming to Nitish, sir. Sir, this sir has talked about organized crime. So, can we link this illegal drug trade with organized crime, and which is linked to all other illegal activities like terrorism and other things?
Let me just find a link for everything. People are having a conflict. For conflict, they will need weapons. Weapons are not available in the legal market. So they have to go to the illegal market, and there have to be someone who is providing the illegal arms. So arms smuggling is required in any conflict. Those who are participating in such a conflict, generally they are the disgruntled youth who are brainwashed and they are drug addicted. Their demand is for the drug addiction, and the drug traffickers, they want any region where the security forces are mobilized to be diverted so that the security, particularly Assam Rifles as sir has mentioned, it is a counter-insurgency force, plus it manages the India-Myanmar border. So Assam Rifles, its responsibility is of two facets. So if they are not having the challenge in the form of insurgency, so they will definitely break down the organized crime. So they fuel the drug traffickers, they fuel the violence in that region. Human trafficking is required so that all these activities, they require the menial job that they do through the human traffickers. For the consumption, they smuggle cattle. So cattle smuggling is there. For their illegal trade, they require cash, and in that they exchange the real currency with the fake currency, and it is flourishing the counterfeit currency market. So everything is linked, and that is the reason why UPSC has provided it in the syllabus also. The linkage between the organized crime and terrorism and in such activity. So they all are linked, and wherever there is an internal security challenge, wherever you see, organized crime is definitely flourishing. Be it in the Dandakaranya region, be it in the Naxal affected areas in Jammu and Kashmir, and Northeast is an example. And Golden Triangle was a such big problem. That is why, compromising the Act East policy, the government has ended the free movement regime with Myanmar. The government has decided to end that policy where the people-to-people interaction was allowed to be exchanged or to be formed into a border fencing. Because for us, stopping organized crime will directly stop any kind of violence.
Okay, sir. Sir, there is one question from a student that what is the difference between terrorism, insurgency and militancy?
Terrorism does not have any goal. Terrorism is just instilling fear in the minds of the people and they don't know why they are doing it. That is why terrorism is now emerging as a corporate. Terrorists, they are now outsourcing anything that the other groups want to do in that region. On the other hand, insurgency is an evolved form of problem where they know that they demand a separate country outside the union. For example, in Nagaland, we have the demand for Greater Nagaland. In Manipur, there was a demand for Kuki land. So these demands are there for a separate country. And you also asked about the militancy. Militancy also have a demand. But in insurgency, they have formed their parallel government also. So if you, and it is something which the people should know that in the northeastern region, there is a parallel government also running where you just search the federal state of Greater Nagaland and they even celebrate their Independence Day. This is not the case in militancy. Jammu and Kashmir is affected by militancy where they don't run their parallel government, they only wage their war against the combatants, but slowly it is also shifting in that direction. So this is the difference. On the other hand, one was left Naxalism, they are not fighting the country, they are fighting the government of this country.
Okay, sir.
One more thing I would like to add on. When it comes to the terrorism, so terrorism is basically go for indiscriminate killing. Even they kill government officials, paramilitary forces, as well as common people. So, because ultimate aim is to generate fear among the minds of the people. And when it comes to the targets are their goals that keep on changing. Even when they start their work, their target is something else and then later on it may get changed. But at the end of the day, terrorists are, I would say that they are also looking for the nothing more than a power in that particular area wherever they are operating basically. And as they cannot get all these things through the legal and constitutional means, so they went beyond that line and they went to create a fear among the minds of the people that they can challenge the state itself basically. This idea of challenging the state is core to the idea of the terrorism basically.
Okay, sir.
One more thing, sir, I would just like to add. When the terrorism we talk about, they do the indiscriminate killing to an extent that the person who is spreading the terror also kill himself or herself. Suicide bombing is a way through which the terrorists they attack.
Right, sir. So there is a question from Shruti. Sir, Sinha, sir, I would like to you to ask that question. Given the complex history of ongoing violence in Manipur, how can a collaborative approach of government, civil society, local communities, they can find a short-term and long-term solution for this particular conflict?
Very nice. I would like to, it's my honor that I would like to explain this. And before explanation, I would like to confess also, when I having not long duration of experience in there, but when I can make out point-wise solution, why is policy makers sitting, I don't know why. Let me explain with reference to all the viewers, especially those who are from Manipur. Point one, this northeast area is covered by tropical evergreen forest, very dense forest, pitch dark even in daytime. And especially in monsoon season, it's very difficult to security forces would be able to move. Point one. Point two, time and again we are highlighting that government, central forces, union government has deployed this much of company of CRPF. I really wonder the deployment of CRPF is not going to make any difference because CRPF don't know the local geography there. They have to take help of the local forces because they can't track out. What is the solution? Solution is very simple. Present we are in IT revolution. Camp, instead of patrolling the area, carrying out operations in the area, the best way is put camps in deep jungles. Companies should deploy it in deep jungles. Point one. How to maintain contact with headquarters? Put eco tower, what is called solar powered eco towers to maintain transmission line. Naturally, the camp is there, the tower is there, transmission tower is there, the security forces will protect the tower will protect the security forces. They are protecting each other by which they would be in contact with the headquarters can be mobilized support any point of time, point 1. Point 2. Next point is when security forces are distributed all along the Manipur or in northeast, then what happened? Then you start, as the candidate is asking, coordinated effort for development. Then development is needed. Local level development, that is labor intensive development. Government should not use machinery in road connectivity or local plantation whatsoever. Why so? If you use machine will not generate local employment. Once you do labor intensive development in those areas, naturally local youth would be employed there. They will get day-to-day payment. They don't have a skill, they don't have education. For years they have not attended school, colleges, university. How will they be able to get a skilled job? So naturally when you are having labor intensive, आप मशीन ले जाकर के वहाँ सड़क बना देंगे, जॉब किसको मिलेगा? और वो सड़क पर करेंगे क्या? भीख मांगेंगे क्या? तो आप लेबर इंटेंसिव कर दीजिए उनको, ताकि वो लोग वहाँ इन्वॉल्व हो जाए. एग्रो प्रोसेसिंग स्टार्ट कीजिए, पूरा फ्रूट से भरा हुआ है. स्किल्ड कीजिए, मार्केटिंग कीजिए, कॉर्पोरेट को कॉन्टैक्ट में लाइए. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, ये जब होगा, कहते हैं ना पीस होगा तो डेवलपमेंट होगा, और हम कह रहे हैं डेवलपमेंट होगा तो पीस होगा. इट्स लाइक फर्स्ट हैंड फर्स्ट एग. ये दोनों को साथ लेके चलना पड़ेगा और तभी कोई रिजल्ट आएगा. सिंपली फोर्स को डिप्लॉय करके कोई रिजल्ट नहीं आएगा. हैड इट बीन पॉसिबल दैट वे, नक्सलिज्म वुड हैव गॉट अपरूटेड फ्रॉम इंडिया, टेररिज्म वुड हैव गॉट अपरूटेड फ्रॉम इंडिया. वी आर कैरिंग आउट मिलिट्री ऑपरेशन फॉर सो लॉन्ग, हैविंग सो मच ऑफ मार्टियर. इतने शहादत हो रही है सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस के, कोई सॉल्यूशन नहीं निकला. सॉल्यूशन पीस एंड डेवलपमेंट को साथ साथ लेके ही निकलेगा, ऐसे नहीं निकलेगा.
I would just like to add on कि एक टेक्निकल टर्म से हम क्या कहते हैं कि व्हेन वी आर ट्राइंग टू एड्रेस सच काइंड ऑफ इंसर्जेंसी इन द रीजन, so the approach, security approach, is just a one approach where you try to eliminate those forces which are not at all ready to come on the negotiation table or to talk anything, or they are the one who are intentionally creating disturbance in the region. But there is a good approach which can be collaborated with that, and that is economic approach, where we can deliver economic development on the ground, as sir said, employment generation. And the third one more is political approach, the combination of security, political and economic approach. Political approach is where you can invite the people who are dissatisfied to come into the mainstream and raise their voice through the legal means or through the constitutional means. So with this way, they get the voice also, and through the economic ways, you will be able to disconnect the masses to the alleged, you can say, a propaganda of the insurgents over there, and even they can develop a trust over the government. And with the security approach, those who are not at all ready to join the mainstream, they can be eliminated also. This combination of three could be very effective basically.
I would like to add one more dimension. As I was saying, and honorable members were saying, the tribals, they live in hilly and forested areas, and the Meiteis, they live in plain areas. So ethnically they may be divided, but geographically their territories are linked. Means in plain areas, the rivers, the sediments, they are brought by the rivers from hilly areas. And similarly, if in hilly area sustainable development is not there, then landslide, avalanches, mud flows, such phenomena, they will become more frequent, and that will hamper developmental activity in plain areas. So as sir was highlighting, coordinated approach is very important for not only development but sustainability of development also in the wake of especially climate change.
Right, sir.
एक और बात मैं जोड़ना चाहूँगा, ऑनरेबल मेंबर ने जो पॉइंट आउट किया है, इट्स रियली टचिंग, कि एक और बात मैं जोड़ूंगा. वहाँ होता क्या है, जो मिलिटेंसी कंटिन्यूअस है, उसके पीछे होता है कुछ मिलिटेंट्स जैसे आए हमारे घर में, हम वहीं के लोकल हैं, हमारे घर में फोर्सिबली आ गए, खाना खा के चले गए, हमें खिलाना पड़ेगा नहीं तो मार देंगे. और वो गए, हमारा जो नेक्स्ट डोर नेबर है, किसी कारण से हमारी डाइवैलिटी है, उन्होंने इन्फॉर्म कर दिया सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस को कि मिलिटेंट्स का इनके यहाँ रात में स्टे था. सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस एम्बुश होती है, उनका रिटेलिएशन होता है, एंगर होता है, वो धड़ाक छापा लगाया, हमने उठा लिया सबको. कौन आया था, क्या आया था, हम जान रहे हैं, इसको कुछ नहीं पता है, लेकिन हम आउट ऑफ शेयर फ्रस्ट्रेशन हम उसको मारते पीटते उठा के ले गए. अब जिसके भाई को हम उठा के ले जाएंगे, उसका दूसरा भाई मिलिटेंट ही तो बनेगा ना.
सही बात है.
हम लोग को ग्राउंड सिचुएशन को एड्रेस करना पड़ेगा, ऐसे कंटिन्यूअस. इसलिए मैं ऑनरेबल मेंबर में जोड़ना चाहूँगा कि देखिए, आप फोर्सेस को लगा करके और एग्रीवेट कर रहे हैं उसको. उससे उनको लग रहा है डॉक्टर, एक डॉक्टर बैठा है, 4 और डॉक्टर जो है सीजरियन करने के लिए तैयार है, उससे सॉल्यूशन नहीं होने वाला है. पीस एंड डेवलपमेंट को साथ लेके चलिए, कोऑर्डिनेटेड, और वो
आई थिंक आनंद कुमार वर्मा आपका क्वेश्चन आपको आंसर मिल गया होगा क्योंकि आपके क्वेश्चन पे डिस्कशन हो रहा था. सर, कमिंग टू द लास्ट राउंड ऑफ द क्वेश्चन, how does this particular topic can be asked in civil services examination, how it is important? So Nitish sir.
सर मेंस के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से तो नॉर्थ ईस्ट इज़ इन द सिलेबस, तो ऑर्गेनाइज क्राइम के क्वेश्चन आ सकते हैं. क्वेश्चन आ सकता है द लिंक बिटवीन ऑर्गेनाइज क्राइम एंड टेररिज्म. इस बार आया भी है, नार्को टेररिज्म वाज अ क्वेश्चन दिस ईयर. क्वेश्चन आ सकता है बॉर्डर मैनेजमेंट से, एंड क्वेश्चन आ सकता है विद रिस्पेक्ट टू द रोल ऑफ साइबर सिक्योरिटी इन एग्रीवेटिंग सच कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स और द कम्युनिकेशन चैनल्स इन एग्रीवेटिंग सच कॉन्फ्लिक्ट.
सर, आप कुछ ऐड करना चाहेंगे?
मैं ऐड करना चाहूँगा ई मैनेजमेंट ऑफ बॉर्डर. ये जो हम बार बार देख रहे हैं इन्फिल्ट्रेशन हो रहा है, तो उसको फिजिकली हम रोक नहीं पाएंगे. सैटेलाइट सर्विलियंस हमारे पास इतना पॉसिबल है. सैटेलाइट सर्विलेंस कीजिए, आईटी पीपल को वहाँ डिप्लॉय करिए. सीआरपीएफ डिप्लॉय करने की जरूरत नहीं है, आईटी को डिप्लॉय करिए ऑन लार्ज स्केल. दे विल हैव ऑन मॉनिटर. आप कहीं भी सिटी हेडक्वार्टर में बैठ करके मॉनिटर कर सकते हैं पूरे बॉर्डर को कि कौन आ रहा है, कौन जा रहा है. वहाँ के डिप्लॉयड फोर्सेस को डायरेक्ट कीजिए तुरंत कि इस एरिया को कॉम करो, इस एरिया में इतने लोग इंटर कर रहे हैं, उठा लो उनको.
Would you like to add anything, sir?
Special constitutional provisions related to the northeast, particular to the Manipur area, and the role of northeast in Act East policy. In fact, this question has been already asked basically, ki why our Act East policies are slow down basically. So you can add on this dimension ki how this instability in the area which delay basically infrastructural development, and it has a long term impact overall progress of the foreign policy.
Sir, would you like to?
सर, फ्रॉम जोग्राफिकल परस्पेक्टिव इस टॉपिक से प्रीलिम्स और मेंस दोनों में ही क्वेश्चन आ सकते हैं. प्रीलिम्स में जैसे कुछ प्लेसेस न्यूज़ में रही, लाइक प्लेसेस एंड फीचर, जैसे बराक रिवर कई बार न्यूज़ में आई, तो उस तरीके के फीचर्स भी आ सकते हैं. या फिर मणिपुर के कॉन्टैक्ट के स्टेट्स, या कितने स्टेट्स हमारे म्यांमार से कॉन्टैक्ट में हैं. मेंस में कुछ मल्टी डायमेंशनल क्वेश्चंस आ सकते हैं, जैसे अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ एंड चैलेंजेस फॉर सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट इन नॉर्थ ईस्ट हिल रीजन और नॉर्थ ईस्ट रीजन. या सेक्टर स्पेसिफिक क्वेश्चंस भी आ सकते हैं, जैसे सर ने बताया था कि कॉटेज इंडस्ट्रीज़ इन नॉर्थ ईस्ट या हॉर्टिकल्चर इन नॉर्थ ईस्ट. तो इन सारे एरियाज़ में मुझे लगता है अच्छे से पढ़ना चाहिए, क्वेश्चंस के ज़्यादा चांसेस हैं.
Okay, sir. So dear friends, we have come to the conclusion of this session. Whatever is happening in Manipur, it is really very unfortunate and very painful, and I sincerely pray that peace prevails in the particular region. There should not be loss of any lives, and there should not be any incident which is inhuman, which has happened, which pains us a lot as an Indian. So I hope that you have liked the session and keep on appreciating us. जो ये बियॉन्ड क्लासरूम सेशन है, दिस इज़ योर प्रोग्राम ओनली. आपके सजेशन से ही हम लोग टॉपिक्स पिक करते हैं, आपसे ही हम क्वेश्चंस आपसे मांगते हैं, उन्हीं क्वेश्चंस को ऑर्गेनाइज करते हैं. एंड आर ऑनरेबल फैकल्टी मेंबर्स, दे ऐड वैल्यू in terms of their knowledge and expertise for that particular dimension of that issue. So keep on watching Beyond Classroom session. See you next week. Thank you. Jai Hind.